Hello. Thanks for joining me again on the Bourbon Journey 2021. There's been a lot of talk about lots of different things made in lots of different places. And I've tried some things from different places, but most of what I had were national brands. Well, tonight I'm bringing you something that's not a national brand. What I have for you tonight is Rieger's Kansas City Whiskey. It's 46% alcohol by volume, 92%. What it is, it's a blend of straight bourbon whiskey, light corn whiskey, and rye whiskey. All of them have been aged at least 4 years, and then they also have a small amount of 15-year-old Oloroso sherry from the Williams & Humbert Bodega in Jerez. Now, this is sold in other places besides Kansas City, but obviously being a Kansas City native, it's really easy to find in the Kansas City market. I found this bottle for something below $35, I believe it was. This actually came recommended to me by the owner of the shop that I was in that day for a different bottle. Usually it's pretty hard to walk out with just one. Most of you agree? Hit me in the comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what the most you've ever gotten from a single stop is. But on this particular trip to one of our local retailers in the greater Omaha area, I walked out with 11 bottles total for him and I. That's the largest single amount I've ever taken home at once. But let's just say I know somebody who had to rent a U-Haul trailer to bring back everything that they bought for others. Some people are like that. I don't have that many bottles, and I don't have that much money to spend on bottles either. But tonight, I'm going to give you my thoughts on Rieger's Kansas City Whiskey. Tonight, I will be enjoying this in my Spirits and Things Glencairn glass, right here. And I'm enjoying it neat. Now, you can tell from looking at what's left in this bottle, I've already enjoyed this. I mean, I've really enjoyed this. I typically don't lean towards blended or whiskeys or bourbons that are aged in particular flavored barrels, for example, like sherry barrels or different things. It's just not something that my palate leans toward usually. But this bottle, with the blend of different whiskeys and the bourbon, the blend of the 15-year sherry, something about this just comes together for my palate. And like I said, it's 92 proof, so it's not very hot. Let me see what I got on the nose for you here. Okay, the corn whiskey jumps out at you. You can obviously pick up the corn whiskey smell. I would say right behind that would be caramel. Not uncommon, but kind of uncommon for something that's only aged for 4 years. You don't always find that in a younger whiskey. And I'm picking up, I don't know which dark fruit, but I imagine that's probably coming from the sherry that's added, because sherry has a strong fruit flavor to it as well. So on the nose, corn whiskey and some caramel and an underlying dark fruit, probably from the sherry. The palate loves it. I'll tell you that before I try it. But let me try to hit you with the notes of taste that I get on my palate. It's obviously heavy on the corn whiskey. And I like corn whiskey anyway. There's a hint of like a baking chocolate, not like cocoa, but like, what's it called? Bitter chocolate, I think it's what it's called. The stuff that you get that's high cocoa content, that's usually for baking, because it's a chocolate-esque taste, but it has no sweet to it. So probably closest I could say is like a baking chocolate, bitter chocolate. There's a hint of a almost amaretto flavor, but it's not that sweet either. Probably closest would be an almond kind of flavor. And there's a hint in there of the dark fruit, whatever it is. I can't tell what it is, if it's almost like a dried plum or maybe a dried fig. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to identify. It's not anywhere near the front of the flavor profile, but it's in there. Again, probably from the small amount of sherry that's added to it. And the thing is, it's so smooth. From first grab on your palate all the way down your gullet, as my grandfather used to say. This stuff, really easy to drink, which, you think? Fortunately, I've already acquired a backup bottle, so I'm not too sad to see this one go, as I know it's got a second pitcher warming up in the dugout. It doesn't have a strong mouthfeel. It's there, you can taste it, and then it's gone. It doesn't linger like a lot of other things that are aged longer. But again, you're only getting 4-year-ish whiskey here. And surprisingly, the only place I can say that there's any kind of spiciness to this at all, even though it does have rye blended in it, you get a little bit of, and I think that almost Italian seasoning, rye influence, is only on the end in the finish, and it's very short-lived. I mean, you can pick it up, but then it's gone. And honestly, it took me that third sip to remind myself what that is at the end. It's a good whiskey, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed my review tonight of this fine product, Rieger's Extra Fine. I forgot to tell you that part. Rieger's Extra Fine Kansas City whiskey. It does show Kansas City, Missouri, for those of you that were wondering. I hope that you get a chance to try this, and I hope that you like it as much as I do, and as much as my friend did tonight. If you have any questions, anything that you'd like to ask, or anything you want to comment on, hit me in the comment section down below. I love getting feedback from you guys out there. It lets me know that you're paying attention and that you appreciate what I'm doing. If you like this video, click it. If you felt that it had value that others might appreciate, there's a share button down there. You know what to do with that too. And if something about my whole bourbon journey experience that I'm presenting to you on my previous videos or in tonight's video, if there's something that appeals to you in some way, this beautiful goatee, or these wonderful no-line bifocals, the grunt style t-shirt, the Spirits and Things Glencairn glass. If anything about this is something you want to see again, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Thanks again for joining me on the Bourbon Journey 2021. Stay safe.